Okay, what's going on, world? This is Curtis Lawson, aka The Striker, just giving you a heads up. Well, now this is the official first video for my new page, The World Outside My Window. Basically, this is more or less like a level of rants, not so much as heavy rants and dogging people out, but yet more or less a level of observations that are normally seen on a monthly basis that I catch every so often, something that can draw a lot of attention. Well, here we are. It's the summer is coming towards an end, and now it's about a couple of issues in which I want to at least get to draw forth and see what your thoughts are, along with what my point of view is from it. All right, let's get this off on the road, off to a good start. Well, basically, this one for this month is basically covering the events of what has happened as of this weekend. Well, this is for my friends in the comic book, anime, video games world. This is our usual starting time for Comic-Con weekend from New York City. Now, we've already had San Diego's Comic-Con already kicked off within the last couple of weeks, and the only minor issues that we heard about was that there was some issues of sexual harassment. That was something that really shouldn't have even happened. Come on, you're gonna have girls wearing sexy clothes and sexy costumes. Fellas, you may be thirsty, but come on, it ain't that serious to actually want to sit here and try to attack women like that. It's just unnecessary. But let's get to the matter at hand of what happened with the events of NYCC's starting point, which is the start of getting the tickets for New York Comic Con, basically more at the most important place of all, which is Midtown Comics in both Lower Manhattan, Times Square, and the Grand Central Station. I apologize. In all three locations, plus some other locations out there in the city. Well, from my observation of this year's ticket preparation for this event, I was kind of surprised that it was a bit earlier than it was last year. Last year, a lot of people didn't start coming until around, like, say 10, more like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. This year, it was started off at about 6 o'clock in the morning, which I think was a little bit off, but yet like this, we're all fans of the genres. You're gonna get there, you're gonna get there. But what really got to me is that the fact that things were not organized as they should have been, especially on the people's part. I mean, I understand, yes, you want to get yourself and get an early seat and get an early chance of getting your tickets, but if in any case they're telling you to prepare yourselves at a much more fashionable, at a more smarter sense of actually getting yourselves there to pick up your tickets, yes, being there at 6 in the morning, not always the smartest choice. I mean, it's a good idea, but not always the greatest choice, because then after that, you're going to have people that are going to be sitting there arguing on, oh, they were there first. Listen, I've already seen, there were almost at least a couple of fights that happened at the start of the line at downtown Manhattan. I was there. It made no sense at all. I mean, yes, I got a chance to meet a good few people, a good few cool folks along the way. I took some snapshots in the beginning from earlier last week on the ends of the line to find out what was the total amount of people that actually showed up at the event. To get their first half tickets, and I agree with a lot. I got a chance to talk to a lot of fans and see and get their opinions on things, which I do agree. Yet things should have been much more organized. There should have been much more structure as far as how to handle the lines, how to handle the people, as far as those that want to try to skip the lines, those that want to try to sit there and declare that they were in first, and so on and so forth, and at least maintain it in an orderly fashion. Listen, last year we had an orderly fashion. By morning, at least there were over 500 people, and there was at least some order there. This year, it doubled the amount. Plus, you had overcrowding. People were actually almost getting into fights. There may have been some slight altercations with the local police department out there in that area, which all that was deemed to be unnecessary in the first place. That shouldn't have had to happen. Listen, folks, this is Comic-Con. This is New York City's Comic-Con. This is our usual kickoff, our usual Nerd Fest kickoff that happens every year in the fall. We all come out there for the same thing, to have a good time, enjoy some stuff, buy a few things, take pictures, and just have fun. This is what it is. That's what it basically is. It's all about having fun. I mean, I've been out here. I've been going to these things since like 2009, 2010, and I've enjoyed myself. There was no arguments, or, I mean, unless it was about comic book history and things of that nature, those kind of minor things, but nothing about like pushing and shoving and trying to see who can get to the start of the line first. It was unnecessary. Come on, it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to get as in depth or as far as it did over this past weekend, especially with both the people as far as what happened downtown, and then on top of that, the way things were structured as far as how the tickets were being sold, and how there was a limited supply of tickets, and yet all of a sudden one store ran out of everything and everything else had something else. I'm not sitting here blasting names out and putting nobody on the spot. I'm just saying this is what happened, and it should have been much more. It should have been organized a lot well, in a sense, in a better manner. It should have been organized in a better manner. That's the word I'm looking for. It should have been done in a better manner instead of the way it was this year. And then also seeing the ridiculous results of the scalpers that came out buying bunches and bunches of tickets, and all of a sudden you go to eBay and you're selling your ticket for $500. The worst one is some guy out there, some guy or some person selling theirs for nearly $5,000. That's ridiculous. Come on, guys. We're all out here. I understand you want to make your money. You want to make a hustle. Good for you. But you don't have to sit here and try to put a gun to somebody, well, try to rob somebody blind by trying to charge them $5,000 for what? For the ultimate VIP pass? Please. Please, show some decorum. Show some compassion for the fact that, yes, we're in a tough economy. You should at least be like, okay, give it to them for maybe about $200-300 max, and leave it at that. And still, you'll make your money. You still make a sale, and yet like this, you're happy, the customer's happy. That's it. Let's see. What else is there also to jump into the subject? Yes. Okay. Also, this weekend, a childhood favorite TV series has finally made to make another film. Make its fifth film for an upcoming time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I know a lot of you folks have had your opinions, doubts, and even some of the most outrageous surprises to say, and lower level expectations that this was going to be a bad movie because, listen, it's Michael Bay. You swear it's Michael Bay, but guess what? All he was is the executive producer, not the director for this film. And yet, like this, all of your opinions have actually been mixed. My first question is: Have the majority of you seen the movie? If the answer is no, I advise you go check it out. Honestly, from my point of view, I liked the movie. It had a lot of it had a lot of action within this process. Even though some of the trailers tried to pull out bits to show the action, but at the same time, it kept a lot of the good stuff off the trailers, which was a good idea. All it did was just give you bits and pieces of showing the characters, and afterwards showing you who the enemy was. Honestly, as far as the Turtles are concerned, I like the fact that they actually made them a little bit bigger than life size. I mean, of course, the original first three movies, and the CGI movie all had them looking about life size, maybe at least the height of what, 4 foot, about 5'6", 5'7" for each character. But in this one, they were about 6 feet tall apiece. That was a good turnaround. That was a good change up, giving them almost the exact imaging of. It's like they took bits and pieces from the 80s cartoon, the 2003 cartoon, and even the one that's on Nickelodeon that at first I didn't like, but afterwards I kind of grew into it. It kind of grew on to me. it actually gave bits and pieces of all of those and kept the references. It even gave some of the grittiness, some of the gritty attitudes, the gritty dialogue, aggression from the original Laird and Eastman works of the black and white books, and also the stuff that IDW has produced. I think that it was actually a pretty promising movie. And from viewing it on Thursday night, I actually was impressed that it was a pretty decent film. And it wasn't, I didn't expect it to be over the top, but just enough to say, okay, let's see if they can plan on doing a second one, a new one, a sequel to cultivate from this. So Nickelodeon, you're hearing me out now. Let's see what you can come up in the next one. That's all I can say about that one. Now, I guess you can say that's about it for this month's World Outside My Window. As always, this is Curtis Lawson, aka The Striker. Just saying like this. Listen, have fun out there, stay safe, and I'll be seeing you at Comic-Con this year. So, if anything comes up, brand new observations kick in within the next month or so, yo, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.